Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Michael Willoughby Show, episode number 27. Your host, Michael Willoughby. Tonight, I am going to discuss the Cleveland Browns' upcoming NFL draft, which will take place this Thursday night at Chicago, I believe. I believe it will be Chicago, Illinois. I will give my 2 cents about the Cleveland Browns' draft status, as they had a major trade last week, or let's say 2 weeks ago, to say the least. Nevertheless, it was a big trade. Nevertheless, for the Cleveland Browns, as they traded a number 2 pick to Philadelphia in exchange for the number 8 overall pick and as well stock of draft picks for this year and next year, as the Browns are heavily investing in their future. I'll get my 2 cents on that. Also, talk about the latest signings of the Hamilton Ticats and the Minicamp and the correct location that I'm going to be talking about very soon. And towards the end of the program, we'll talk about the location of the Hamilton Ticats minicamp, which, like I said, start tomorrow and 1 through Thursday. I will reveal the location towards the end of the show. But first off, I'd like to say, we'll start off the episode in a somber note. As you all may know, late last week, a music icon passed away. Prince, his real name Prince Rogers Nielsen, formerly known as one of the greatest superstars in the history of music and let-alone entertainment industry as a whole. He passed away at the age of 57 in his home area in the Minnesota state, not too far from Minneapolis. I think it's Peasley Park is where his home is. Like I said, he is from Minnesota, 57 years of age. He passed away. Was found in the elevator, from what I heard. And let me tell you this, I am not a big fan of his former music, but one thing you gotta recognize about Prince is that he had made significant contributions, or monumental contributions to say the least, as Prince delivered a lot of hit classics like Purple Rain, the most well-known song throughout his entire career. He won an Oscar for it, the best original score, I believe, in the mid-1980s. I think it's 85. I'm not too sure, but it was around that time. It was a really celebrated hit. It was an international superstar status that he reached when he won the Purple Rain award at the Oscars. Award for his work at Purple Rain. Little Red Corvette is another song that he sang early on in Rocket's 1999. All those great hits still remembered to this day. Unlike his predecessors like Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson, I think I totally agree with many of the experts of the music industry when I watched them on CNN doing when the breaking news came, and I see him online as well, is that Prince was very underrated. He was at times almost entirely grossly underlooked for his accomplishments and his work. He was mostly under the radar. He was a very private person. He didn't have any much significant interviews. Most notably, he did Larry King in the late 1990s, same as Oprah, but that was pretty much it. That he did The View and made a surprise appearance in The View a few years back. I think it was 2012. He surprised Sherry Shepherd, who was one of the biggest fans in the world for Prince. She admired Prince very much. And yeah, Prince was an outstanding musician. Not a big fan of his former music, but you gotta respect the tremendous contribution to music, and he was also a great humanitarian in his own right. He stood up to the barriers of music. He was never shy to say what he think is right about the state of the music industry back then and into now. He had reached the all-time turmoil high with Sony Records. He was in a dispute back in the 90s, I think, in early 2000, I think. And Prince changed his name, as formerly known as Prince. The artist formerly known as Prince. And he also had a symbol with his name changed as well. So he had a bit of dispute with Sony Records for a very long time. In the early 2000s, he came back and reclaimed his status as one of the true international superstars. So my thoughts and condolences go out to Prince's family. Prince will be greatly missed. A monumental loss in the music industry, one of the most underrated talents of all time. You had Prince Rogers Nielsen, dead at age 57, late last week in his home state of Minnesota, in his home area at Paisley Park Studios, where he last attended a special party a week before. 2 weeks prior, he was sent to the emergency after succumbing to a flu virus, and he had an autopsy results late last week as well, some point during the weekend. And Prince autopsy results will not be disclosed until in the coming days or weeks ahead. There is reports, however, that Prince may have been overdosed of the drugs. From what I've heard, is Prince had a very problematic hip injury. A few years ago, he had a surgery. He was on painkillers since then. So you gotta have to be very sympathetic and very knowledgeable of the situation regarding to what happened to Prince, what led to his death. I'm assuming he has brain aneurysm. It can happen at any time. Like I said, he was under a lot of stress, especially health-wise. And aneurysms, hemorrhages, I should say, it could cause at any time. And ultimately, Prince, that could claim his life. But I don't know what the results are at this time, and hopefully we'll get them as soon as it can to finally get the conclusive cause of death. But yeah, it's not a significant news story. What happened is we lost a true legend in the music industry. Prince passed away 57 years of age late last week in his home area of Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, Paisley Park. God bless you, and God bless you, Prince. Great talent gone, another great talent gone way too soon. And what also sucks is this year, 2016. We're not even halfway through the year, and we lost a ton of talent. Earlier in the day, last week, at the same day Prince passed away, China was found dead. The former wrestler in the WWE, passed away at the age of 47. I believe he was 46, 47 years of age. Allegedly suicide. I'm not 100% sure. But China was known as a pioneer in professional wrestling, the women's division. She was a women's champion, I think only one time in 2001. She was also the one who broke the barrier, the gender barrier, becoming the first female, and currently the first female ever to win the Intercontinental Championship. And truth be told, she was in line, not in the late 90s, during her tail end of the run of Degeneration X. She was going to be the number one contender. She was billed as the number one contender for the WWF Championship, and ultimately creative differences came in a way China never got the opportunity. But imagine if she would have been the WWE champion. But she also did, I think she was not only Intercontinental champion, but also she was a European champion as well. But yeah, a major pioneer in the women's wrestling industry. Joanne Lawler, widely known throughout the international landscape of professional wrestling, known as China, found dead at the age of 46 or 47 years of age. I can't remember, but it's totally irrelevant at this point. My thoughts and condolences go out to her family and friends at this time, and hope she finds peace after a tumultuous last 10, 15 years since she left the WWE. She did have a brief appearance in TNA, could be in one match, if you will, but WWE, of course, will not acknowledge that. So that's my condolences to Prince and China, and hopefully they will find a peace in the pearly gates. Now let's get back to the original task at hand, that is the Cleveland Browns. The forthcoming NFL draft, which will take place in Chicago, I believe it's Chicago or New York, one way or the other. Nevertheless, this Thursday night, April 28th, at approximately 8 p.m., that's going to be the start of the NFL draft, which you can see it live on the NFL Network or on here in Canada. I believe it's going to be TSN. I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty confident it will be, because TSN, for a long, long time, and they are the partner of ESPN. They are the Canadian equivalent of ESPN. ESPN co-owns the sports network, TSN. And they used to do the draft on Saturday afternoon, but now, for the last 2 or 3 years, they have ran to prime time. NFL Network is like the lead network for the coverage of the NFL draft. ESPN has been like somewhat in the back burner, but they always been focused on football. That's their number one go-to sport for ratings. And the draft class of 2016 NFL draft looks promising as every other year. Cleveland Browns, in particular, it was going to go number 2, and there were a lot of experts in the National Football League circle and the media were picking. Cleveland Browns were going to pick the number 2 originally, to pick Jared Goff from California or Carson Wentz from North Dakota. Both are quarterbacks. Both have a very promising future. But from what I've heard last week, and it was a major shakeup in the NFL draft. First of all, it was the draft that had Tennessee giving up his number 1 overall pick to St. Louis. That was a couple weeks ago. Last week, the Cleveland Browns gave away the number 2 pick in exchange for Philadelphia's number 8 pick, which was originally the Miami Dolphins pick. But what was really jaw-dropping is the picks that Cleveland got from Philadelphia For now.